Greetings and peace. My name is Lekan, or most people call me M.D.A. or even LP. This is my darling wife, Jacinta Parsons. And together we are here. We are excited. We are just enthused, overjoyed to have been a part of such a magnificent offering and opportunity that has been in the works really since about 2020, and in it itself we are have the privilege and honor to have been working with a wonderful legend, Mr. Gene Anderson, also known as the Poo Poo Man.
Poo Poo Man.
Yeah. And it's, I've just had the great opportunity to meet this wonderful legend entertainer back in 2019, and moving forward with another group of individuals that we call Team G.A.A.P. There's a production company called Jaleja Productions and a umbrella company called Fervent Ventures. We've just kind of pulled all of our muscles and wherewithal together to assist Poo Poo in putting together a wonderful book, audiobook I should say, that will come on the back end of his book release, The Birth of Hip Hop, the Gene Anderson story. Also, with that, we were putting together, and my wife will talk to you more about that, we call it a Legends Award that really focused in on the work of Mr. Gene Anderson. Over 50 years in the industry with the likes of Cab Calloway, Duke Ellington, and George Clinton, the Funkadelics. He has toured and just sang literally with everyone, right? And my wife would tell you a little bit more about that.
And at the time that we were planning this fantastic weekend event, I think we all remember what happened March 2020. COVID came in. That exact weekend, as a matter of fact, while we were having one of our last planning and strategy meetings, one of the Team G.A.A.P members came to the meeting and said, "If you heard about, COVID-19, people are canceling events." And we're like, canceling events? We had put so much into what was going to be a fantastic weekend of performances, book signings, all kinds of special events. Of course, Gene was coming into town, flying into town. But bad timing, as we all know. What happened after that? A lot of things got canceled, and a lot of events had to be rescheduled or rearranged or postponed. And so here we are. After some time, what we did decide to do was to begin recording the audiobook. That was something that was always in the works, but it was okay. Let's just shift gears. Let's respond to the current time, and let's do what we can. And that is what we did. So we have been recording and working on the audiobook version of this fantastic Birth of Hip Hop, the Gene Anderson story. And while doing so, we will also, as we're getting closer, getting to the finish line, we will also be planning a Zoom event where we will present the 3 awards that we were going to share and present to Mr. Gene Anderson in that fantastic weekend. One of them being our Legends Award, because he truly is a legend. And as you will discover and learn, if you purchase the book and or if you purchase the audiobook, the history behind his story is an amazing one. So Lekan is going to talk to you a little bit more about that audiobook, but we do anticipate having an announcement coming up. Pay attention to your social media, because we will have the Zoom presentation that we are trying to coordinate with the release of the audiobook, hopefully coming up soon in time for...
Very soon. We've been working on it. As my wife said, COVID, right? So it's done a lot of things for a lot of different people. But it's made us push harder. Sometimes they say everything in divine time and divine order, and that's what we believe. But we've been working really hard. 2, 3, 4 different studios. Sometimes there are people there, sometimes they shut down. We have to move the train over someplace else. Gene has been so very, very patient. He and I are constantly in communication. And both entities, we are the executive producers and producers of this wonderful project. I call it not really an audiobook. Sometimes I call it an M.D.A. audiobook. That is a musical drama audiobook, because he's an artist. We could not be a person that would just talk through a book, if you will. So with that, he gave me permission to bring in some wonderful narrators. I think Mr. Jim Gates, who's actually going to be what they called DJs at that time, was the first person that Poo Poo Man, Gene Anderson, got to put that record on, right? So that's great. Without that, Rapper's Delight may have never been heard, to be quite honest with you. Gene pushed that thing to make it happen. He broke this record, so it is really awesome. We may not have been experiencing hip hop and rap on the commercial market nationally and internationally like we experience it today, had it not been for these gentlemen, and in particular Mr. Gene Anderson. So we're excited. The book has been great. My wife has been a pro. I had to reel her in. She's a professional voiceover artist. And I said, honey, you're going to have to be the manager of these sessions. It is up to you. Just call me when it's done. I'll get the narrators in. We'll make it happen. Call me when it's done so I can put the other musical ears to it, because I got Gene's music. We're inserting all throughout the project and the effects. That's what I do. But the voiceover things, tell me about that experience, please.
Well, we were actually quite fortunate in that we gathered a lot of different talent together, which you will hear in the book. We have a former drummer with Parliament Funkadelic, one of the groups that Gene was a large part of for many years. We have, as Lekan mentioned, one of the premier DJs that played the Rapper's Delight at his radio station, Jim Gates. You will hear his masterful voice on the audiobook. And so it really was a lot of just coordinating and getting talents and voices together and making it happen.
It's true. I mean, and of course, Gene Anderson, he does do a cameo there, so you will hear his voice. And I think Jim Gates even had to send us something via email just to make it happen. So we just did whatever we had to do to pull this work together. The big vision is when we release this wonderful book. I think it's going to be sometime after the Legends Award, which will be in September. We're aiming for last quarter, holiday time, moving into 2022. And we just hope and pray it'll be a big splash. I know it is. And from there, Mr. Anderson would love to see some of the movie stars to come in to do another version of the book. He would also like to see the hip hop community, nationally, internationally, a lot of those stars to come in to do their version of the book. And we love to see this book translated into as many languages as possible, because this is history. It's raw. I will tell you that, and he makes no apologies about it. All right,
it is.
It's the real deal. It's the real deal life, right? What these gentlemen had to do, and women, okay, had to do to push and make and break down doors and talk to DJs and we won't even talk about it to get those records played. But here we are today. I had a conversation with Gene, and he says, you know, Lekan, I'm happy that the hip hop artists today, they get it. They're executive producers now. They're running the show. They're using their money. This is good. This is a good thing, Lekan. You know, it made my work not in vain. I'm happy. He just wants his story to be told. It's his story to be heard. So listen, look out on your social media, YouTube. We're going to go across Roku TV. I mean, we're going to do everything in our bones to push, market all across any available media outlet and channels to let you know two things: the Legend Award that's going to be coming up, right, September, October, and of course the release of the Birth of Hip Hop, Rapper's Delight, the Gene Anderson story. Okay, so until then, much peace and love. We'll talk to you soon.